Alright, guys, let's talk about my story and owning your goals. What's going on, guys? As you can see by the title that I just talked about, it's about me and my story owning your goals. And we're going to go back and we're going to talk about Mr. Fitness when he first got involved in this stuff. And hopefully it will help you understand why I get so frustrated and so upset by hearing excuses, little meaningless, pissy excuses as to why you can't. There is no can't. There is only can do. And I don't want to hear can't. So we're going to go back and hopefully understand why I don't take excuses from anybody. Okay, so let me start off with a small little story. Before we get to me, we're going to talk about one of my all-time favorite heroes of all time in bodybuilding, Ronnie Coleman. If you don't know who Ronnie Coleman is, you need to pause right now, go to YouTube, and find out who Ronnie Coleman is. 8-time Mr. Olympia. The greatest bodybuilder of all time, next to Arnold Schwarzenegger, of course. So, back in the day when Mr. Ronnie Coleman started working out and going to the gym and started realizing and having people tell him he needed to start competing because he just was amazing. A genetic freak, to be sure. And he started to compete at national levels. And he started to get into the Mr. Olympia. I got news for you. He didn't just lay around all day and eat, sleep, and train, like it was so easy. He had a full-time job as a police officer, which is a little stressful. He had a wife, he had kids, he had the house, he had everything, but he still became Mr. Olympia. He was still winning all these titles. He was still training that way. He was still eating that way. He had the mentality. He had the goal set here. Once you set it here, you execute. Nothing will stop you from reaching that goal, your potential. He had it locked in. Do you think he come up with little pissant excuses as to why he couldn't work out that day? He had to work 12 hours the next 3 days. He can't get to the gym. He can't work out. Oh, I don't have time to eat today. I just have Taco Bell. I'll have a Whopper. No. He would pack food if he had to. You eat when you have to. If he has to miss 2 hours of sleep, he would miss sleep to get to the gym and still take care of his family and still do the job because it was that important to him. You have to make your goal that important to you to where nothing, absolutely nothing will stop you from getting and working towards that goal. Every day is progress. Every day is a step forward in achieving your goal. Every day you don't work at it, you're stepping backwards. You're stepping backwards. And if you're going to take 2 steps back, 1 step forward, I got news for you. You're probably never going to get there. Never. And so that's what I respect about him, that he was able to stay disciplined, stay focused, have intensity about what he was doing, and got it done no matter what. It motivated me to stop making excuses and to work towards my goal. So, now we're going to get to my story. Now we're going to kind of get and delve into what I went through when I started getting into this. Sorry. I'm getting all fired up here. Okay. So I didn't walk into a gym until the year 2000. Okay, so that was 17 years ago. Now before that, I had never walked into a commercial gym ever in my life. Never. Now in high school, yeah, I worked out in high school, of course. We had to take fitness and all that stuff, so I worked out there, but I only did it because I had to, and that's horrible to do, just because you're forced to do it. So I wasn't that unfamiliar, but I never was in a commercial gym. I had the typical guy, teenage guy, bench press at home, dumbbells, barbell, push-ups, sit-ups, all that kind of stuff, run. But until around 2000, I never walked into a gym because I was scared to death to walk into a gym. I was 149 pounds if I was lucky. All right. The conjuring images in my head of these huge monsters, these bodybuilding freaks that's going to be in there, that's just going to laugh me out of the place. I would not step into a gym. I was that intimidated. Until I finally did, and I actually went in there, had a membership. The Powerhouse Gym, went in there, absolutely blew my mind because it was so amazing and how welcoming absolutely everybody was. Everybody. And it became truly my second home. I felt that that's the only place I really felt at home, and I felt welcome, and I felt like I belonged, even though I was still the scrawny little punk. And so I started training even though I had absolutely no comprehension of what I was doing. I had no idea of a bicep, tricep, this machine, that machine, this exercise, that exercise, nutrition, nothing. Now you remember, put yourself back, right? No internet, no iPhones, no apps, no Google, no YouTube, none of that. You wanted to look, you looked at a magazine, you bought a book. If you know what a book is, you had to buy a book with pages, paper, and print on it. So you could still, wasn't as good as visual. So I would watch and I would learn, and I would watch the other guys and learn, trial and error. But the problem is, if you're watching and learning, that's bad. Because if somebody's doing something really bad, guess what? You're going to do it bad. You're going to learn it. You're going to pass it to somebody else. And it's just going to go around like a very bad case of herpes. And like I said before, you don't want it. You don't want to spread that around. You don't want that bad advice going around. You want to learn the right way. So it set me back a long time just learning the basics. I would say a good year before I actually had comprehension of what I was even doing and not wasting my time. So once I learned that, then every year after that, I upped the intensity. I upped my dedication and willingness to sacrifice to get to my goal. What was my goal? I absolutely did not set a goal as far as my body weight or my body fat, how much I could bench, what I was going to weigh, nothing. I had a very specific body image goal here. I knew what I wanted to look like, and I know what I wanted to feel like. So when I would look in the mirror, I didn't look at magazines and posters and say, I want to be that guy. I want those arms. I never did that. I looked in the mirror and I saw myself as my future self. I saw myself as I envisioned myself to be. I put that image in my head and it locked in my brain. And every time I picked up a weight, every time I worked out, that image was right there in the forefront of my mind. And every rep, every set, every mile, I was working towards that goal image. That is what you have to do. You have to set a very specific goal in your mind that you are working towards. So that was 17 years ago I walked into a gym. Everybody wants to know and asks me all the time, how long did it take to look like I do? Well, not 17 years, but I have been doing it 17 years. Actually, I would say 6-7 years it took of non-stop work to get to where I look today. Now, I've been bigger, I've been smaller, I've been leaner, I've been chubbier. Okay, I've gone through it all in 17 years. But the fact I want to get at is owning your goal and not making excuses. You got to understand, when I started working out, I was part-time, but I was at Ford Motor Company. If anybody on here is watching it from Ford, WSP, baby, wood haven stamping, right? I was part-time, but you're still working hours. But by 2002, I was full-time, right? So that means 8 to 10 hour days. That means at least 6 days a week usually, okay? So it's not like I was just working out and then laying out in the sun, okay? I had a full-time job, a very physically demanding full-time job, a very hot, muggy full-time job in this factory, right? Labor-intensive. Do you honestly think I felt like going into the gym and kicking my ass for an hour and a half or 2 hours, and then going home and eating, and then going to work 10 hours in a factory? Really? But I did it because it had to be done. If I didn't do it, guess what I was doing? At midnight when I got off, I was trucking up to the fitness center, right? At the plant, and I was working out. Now, you don't think, after a long day of sweating and hurting, I just didn't want to get my bag and go out the door with everybody else, right? And walk to my car and go get some food and go home and crash? Absolutely. But I didn't if I had to go work out. I would go up there for another hour, and then I'd go home. If I had to work out 2 times in one day, in the morning and then hit it again at night. 7 days a week. 7 days a week, all right? There is no excuse. I'm tired, I'm sore, I'm busy. There's 24 hours in a day, right? 1 hour is 4% of your entire day. And if you can't find 1 hour a day for you, for your body, for your health, for your goal, for your long-term well-being, then you are a goon. And you really need a lesson in time management and prioritizing you. Okay? That's why I'm so hard on people and their little excuses they give me, okay? I was busting my butt. I was working hard too. But no matter what time I had to do it, when I had to do it, if I had to do it 2 times a day and I did it 7 days a week, I did it to get to where I wanted to be, and I reached my goal. I achieved what I set out to achieve. And I'm never happy. I'm never satisfied. I don't look in the mirror and say, I'm done. We're all a work in progress. Me, you, everybody, we are a work in progress. Every day you get up, the fight starts anew. Every day the battle starts anew. But you have to have it locked in here. If you don't have this, and you don't have the heart, nobody or nothing's going to motivate you to get it done. You have to motivate you. You have to look in the mirror and motivate you. And if not being where you want to be isn't motivation enough for you, if your health isn't motivation enough for you, then nothing I say is ever going to motivate you. Nothing I do will ever motivate you. You got to own your own goals. Make the time. Put in the work and you will get the results. There is no 30-day quick fix. There's no pills or powders or magic potions I can give you. It's not a weekly thing. It's not a monthly thing. And in 3 months I'm going to be done. Right? No. It's a lifestyle change. And you have to make that change. You have to. I can't. I can show you the way. I can help you. I can help put you where you want to be more effectively. But you have to get up every day. You have to get up every day and do the work. But when you get there and you hit your goal, there's nothing like it in the world, because you achieved what you put your mind to. And everybody out there, if you put your mind to it, if you put in the time and effort to do something, there's nothing you can't do. There is nothing you can't achieve. Just remember one thing. My favorite saying is, you can have excuses or you can have results, but you can't have both. Choose wisely. Choose wisely. Pick one. Get your results. Throw your excuses in the garbage. And get to your goals and put in the work. No excuses. And as always, remember, I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps.